Greetings, members of the Senior Management Committee. I would first off like to say thank you so much for taking the time to hear what Rachel, Jasmine, and I have to say about the company's current pension plans. The members of the Human Resources Department took time to conduct research on what is best for the company. If you give us about 15 minutes of your time, I can assure you that you will see our perspective and agree with us.
First, we will start with a brief overview of our company's current standing. Our company has had a defined benefit plan since its establishment. We have concluded it is no longer an ideal fit for the changing employee environment. Converting to a defined contribution plan will allow improved outcomes for our employees and ourselves. A few of the things that would make a defined contribution plan beneficial is that we have a younger job market. We also have high turnover rates, and also the defined benefit plan is more costly.
So here's a little history about why we have pension plans. Employers in the past want to keep the loyalty of their employees by providing benefits to compensate for employees' lifestyles. The 401k is a relatively new conception that was created in 1978 when the United States Congress passed the Revenue Act of 1978 that gave employees the option to have a tax-free way of receiving benefits rather than from bonuses or stock options. It was then that Ted Bana, who was a benefits consultant at Johnson's Companies, suggested that employers should create a savings account that their employees could have tax advantage of. It wasn't until the 1980s that employers were beginning to be active in creating 401k pension plans. In 2001, the Economic Growth and Tax Relief Reconciliation Act allowed employees and companies to increase their contribution to people's 401ks. Additionally, people over the age of 50 were able to make catch-up contributions. However, in 2017, there were restrictions that were put upon the law that employees and companies can only contribute a certain amount of money into employees' 401k accounts. Luckily, the restriction can change based on cost living adjustments.
Next, we will discuss the types of benefit plans, defined benefit, and defined contribution. In 2017, only 11% of companies had a defined benefit plan. First, let's explain a defined benefit plan. Under a defined benefit plan, the employer promises an exact dollar amount to the employee, or there is a specific formula for calculating the employee's pension benefit upon retirement. Under this type of plan, the pension benefit is determined by three factors: the number of years of service, a benefit multiplier, and the employee's final average salary. The benefit multiplier varies among plans. Research has found that the average multiplier value used in defined benefit plans was 2.14% for employees covered by Social Security and 2.48% for public sector employees not covered by Social Security. There are, however, many issues with this plan, and this is why many companies are shifting to defined contribution and other benefits. With a defined benefit plan, the burden is solely on the employer. Employers are subject to ERISA obligations. Overall, defined benefit plans are rather outdated, and with our younger job market, many are no longer staying at jobs for many years in order to receive their pension in a traditional manner. This would cause employees to have a lack of job satisfaction because they would feel they are working without any benefits that they can take with them. This is happening at our company, which is the reason we are needing to initiate change to retain our employees.
Before we talk about our company, we like to talk about how other companies are planning to or already have transitioned from a defined benefit plan to a defined contribution plan. The example we will be presenting today will be on UPS transition. UPS wanted to join other large companies that had phased out their defined benefit plan. So, June 27, 2017, UPS announced that they will transition from a defined benefit plan to a defined contribution plan by January 1st, 2023. The reason why UPS decided to make the switch is because of rising pension costs and the volatility in future funding and changing demographics. Specifically speaking, people are living longer. In 2016, UPS pension deficit was 9.9 billion, and it still owed 41.1 billion to retirees and current employees who are enrolled in the pension plan, but they only had enough to fund 76% of what they owe. Making the switch to a defined contribution plan can help with UPS pensions deficit because since the company is not making enough money to owe companies what they deserve for their pension plan, the company can contribute a small percentage to their 401k instead of paying a large amount. With that being said, we would like to avoid this conflict with our company, so we like to transition our employees to a defined contribution plan.
So why should our company transition? First, we will provide a small history of defined contribution plans. The lawful enactment of defined contributions was established in 1978 by the federal government and became effective in 1981. Under a defined contribution plan, the employer contributes a predefined amount or percentage of the employee's wages or company profits into a retirement fund. The final retirement value of this account is based on employer and employee contributions and overall fund performance based on the investment choices that the employee made prior to his or her retirement. There are many benefits to a defined contribution plan for the company as a whole. Decreased costs, as defined contribution plans are cheaper. It also initiates employee contribution. Defined contribution plans also allow indirect involvement due to them normally being taken care of through third parties. Defined contribution also removes long-term pension legalities from ERISA and causes flexibility that was not originally done in a benefit plan. Employees now can transfer their pensions to other accounts and keep them for a lifetime. Due to these factors, there will be an increase in job satisfaction. Now we will introduce our proposal. We will make a contribution of 50 cents per dollar for up to 6% of your salary to your pension account. The average pension plan is 50 cents per dollar up to 3 to 6% of your salary. We chose 6% because we value our employees and would like for them to have a benefit that will sustain them if they decide to transition to another company. Hopefully, this amount will increase job satisfaction and in turn reduce our turnover and costs. Other companies would prefer to pay less, but we hope this will give us a competitive advantage for many years to come.
The defined benefit plan will need to be maintained for some time, at least until it's completely frozen or the underfunding has been reduced or eliminated. Eventually, the defined benefit plan will be phased out, and there are two ways our company can potentially phase out the defined benefit plan. The first approach would be to close the plan to new participants, but continue benefit accruals for existing participants, which is considered a soft freeze. Another approach would be to close the plan to new participants and freeze benefit accruals for existing participants immediately or at a future date, which is considered a hard freeze. A delay freeze would be beneficial to our company because imagine we plan a 5-year delay freeze. Our employees now they are between the ages of 55 through 60. Soon they'll be retiring after 5 years. To avoid current employees from the ages 55 through 60 from being upset, those employees will see partial reductions in their projected benefits. Making a transition to a defined contribution plan is not only beneficial to the company, but also beneficial to employees. Some benefits that employees will have are full ownership of assets, they control their own investment decisions, and it's easier for them to transfer and move to a different job. And contributions has lower taxable income. Of course, with great benefits come consequences as well. The only consequences that employees will face are that they only have 100% investment risk and they're responsible for monitoring everything. Even though there are consequences, the consequences are not horrible.
So, what does the future of retirement plans look like? Well, 401ks are still in question for the future of Americans. According to the Wall Street Journal, 401ks are starting to have less value. Some companies may even eliminate the idea of 401k retirement plans. People are then not able to afford being able to retire for the rest of their lives, so they have to work in order to survive or provide for themselves. Benefits, including healthcare, are said to become employers' most expensive expense in the future. So the future of 401k pension plans are still in question. Who knows what the future holds? So that's definitely something to look forward to or to think about.
And that concludes our proposal. Once again, thank you so much for your time. And we know you have a lot of questions, so now we will open a discussion forum.